He came to this island with the promise of land, colonization, and to become the first governor of the Colony of Vancouver Island. What followed was a brief homelessness, insignificant authority, and a conflict that all ended in resignation. I'm Owen Brady, and today I'm going to tell the full story of the first governor of Vancouver Island on Vancouver Island Narratives. First off, if you're wondering why I'm here in a forest and not downtown Blanshard Street, you're asking the right question. Simply put, downtown is busy at all times and it both affects my audio quality and my ability to confidently talk to the camera and to you. So with that all said, let's get straight into the story. Richard Blanshard was a well-off man. Born in London in 1817, he studied at Cambridge and then practiced law and later traveled to the West Indies before he was called to serve in the Sikh War of 1848-49. After his campaign successfully ended, he was awarded a medal for his bravery and was recommended the title of the first governor of the Colony of Vancouver Island. This title of the first governor of the Colony of Vancouver Island did not come with a paying salary, but rather 1,000 acres of Vancouver Island land. Now, he was so intrigued and so ready to get going for this, he even opted to travel the same route as future settlers in the hope of arriving faster than the annual Hudson's Bay Company supply ship. Now, indeed, the Hudson's Bay Company did occupy this land before it was colonized. Their goal was to make Fort Victoria their west coast post and also to establish a British presence so that America couldn't move up and take Vancouver Island as their own. But in fact, it was a little bit more serious than that. They were given complete control of the land, the resources on it, and the task of dealing with the First Nations, essentially giving them complete control of this island. It would not have been ideal for the Hudson's Bay Company to turn this land into a colony, for its use of generating furs and materials would surely dwindle in the sights of dozens of independent settlers. However, with a request from the Colonial Office, the Hudson's Bay Company was forced to turn this island into a colony. Originally, the Hudson's Bay Company wanted James Douglas, their chief employer, to become the first governor of the Colony of Vancouver Island. It only made sense. The Hudson's Bay Company already had complete control of the island and everything on it. However, the Colonial Office wanted to appoint an independent governor, someone who would hold everyone to an even judge and not favor the Hudson's Bay Company. The man for the job was none other than Richard Blanshard. So now you can see that when Governor Blanshard arrived on March 11, 1850, he felt rather estranged rather than being welcomed. As no accommodation had been made ready for his arrival, he was forced to live on the HMS Driver until his unfortunate and disheartening relocation to an empty storage room, somewhere he would end up living for several months. Blanshard's first task was to set up a bicameral legislature, a type of government where there's two bodies. Now, there was lots of Hudson's Bay Company employees, although lots of them didn't even meet the requirement to vote, to set up one body, but he lacked the independent settlers to set up the other side of the government. Because of this, Blanshard decided to wait until he heard back with instructions from the Colonial Office overseas. And due to the mail times being extremely long, it would take a couple months. Between the housing crisis and the lack of government, this made for a really tough start for Governor Blanshard. Although Blanshard was unwilling to act without instruction, he was free to act elsewhere. One incident involving 3 sailors who were escaping arrest by jumping ship and fleeing into the woods up island went south, and unfortunately the 3 sailors were allegedly killed by First Nations further up the island. Months later, after Blanshard finished investigating this incident on the northern part of the island, 2 native villages had been burned down and the alleged murderers were killed. This was the last serious act that Blanshard did for the island. From a combined result of over-the-top product prices from the Hudson's Bay Company and several days in an open canoe, Blanshard felt mentally and physically sick. He sent in his resignation letter in November of 1850, a short 8 months after arriving, stating that his private fortunes were utterly insufficient for the mere costs of living here. He further stated that his health had given way under repeated attacks of ague and showed no signs of amendment. These would be his final deciding factors on why he should send his resignation and leave the island. After waiting a further 9 months for confirmation, Richard Blanshard, ex-governor of the Colony of Vancouver Island, was ready to head home. 2 days before he left, he decided to appoint James Douglas and 2 other men of the Hudson's Bay Company as his replacements. Furthermore, Richard Blanshard's luck did not end when he left the island. On his way home, he lost most of his luggage, and upon arrival back to London, he found out he would have to pay £300, or roughly 60,000 today's Canadian dollars, for his trip home. And so, that's a short-lived story of the first governor of the Colony of Vancouver Island. I'm Owen Brady. Thank you for watching Vancouver Island Narratives. On the left, you'll see a full playlist of all the videos that I've made so far, and on the right is a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Leave a comment down below or a suggestion if you would like to see me film somewhere next and on what, and without further ado, I'll let you get into my next video.